I went to an after party with Vin Diesel. He took me up to his room.
Coucou everyone, as you know, today is Thursday, it's almost the weekend, and you're here with us today to enjoy a relaxing and fun rendezvous. On today's episode, we have the chance to host our first female guest. Many of her videos deal with dating problems as a young woman, and her sense of humor helped her to amass more than 3 million fans on her platforms, and we're not done here. She's also an amazing singer who can speak fluently 4 languages, and stay until the end because she will be teaching you how to talk to your French boyfriend and girlfriend. So please everyone welcome Chiara King.
Hello guys.
Oh, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Yeah, thanks for being here, Chiara. It's such a pleasure.
Aw, well, I'm so happy to be in LA and just like enjoying the weather.
Yeah, how'd you like it here?
It's amazing. I just didn't expect to be surrounded by so many French people.
Yeah,
They're everywhere.
different weather from London, that's for sure.
You know what's funny? Is like in the summer when I come here, I hear more French than English. Like when travels are open, it's crazy.
Yeah,
like,
French, Spanish, anything but English, basically.
yeah, it's pretty wild. So many of our audience might know you, but for those who don't, just wanted to give a little background. So you're 23.
Yes, I'm 23. I'm from London. My name's Chiara. I have been doing like TikTok, social media for like, I'd say 2 years now. But then I actually started music before I started social media.
Yeah, you did X Factor, right?
I did the X Factor.
Okay.
That was not a good
It
experience.
was amazing. I watched it. It was fun. It was good. The Spice Girls.
Oh my God, don't.
One
do not.
Direction did X Factor, right, too? One Direction?
They
You can be
did.
proud. That's something I wish I could do.
You bounced back and then you made your own music.
Well, that actually was making my own music before. So I started doing music when I was 19. I do like kind of Latin pop music. So I get sing in Spanish and also in English.
Yeah, I love Papi.
Papi's
fun.
Ya
Yeah.
me encanta.
Así devorándome, papi como tú no hay nadie. Trying to say what you wanna know. Come on, take a chance.
What's amazing is you sing in both Spanish and English, but you also speak French and Portuguese.
And Portuguese, yeah, and Italian, yeah.
I just wish I speak that language. And it's funny because it's all Latin languages, so they all
Exactly.
relate to each other. But we'll talk about like your experience learning those languages because a lot
yeah.
of people actually are here
That's
to
an
learn
interesting
and have
one.
some tips to get better at languages and especially French. So Chiara, first, who is Chiara King?
Chiara King is a pretty normal girl from London. I basically keep to myself, really. Like with the whole TikTok thing, it was weird because like I just sat in my bedroom and chatted shit about my ex, and like it just kind of turned into a whole thing. I originally got TikTok actually to promote my music and stuff like that, and then I just did like boy stuff. I was just like funny things.
It's insane nowadays how like TikTok can, promote so many artists, and you can see that when you have one viral song, that can start a career to you.
Yeah.
So I think it's a smart way to promote your music, but it doesn't work for everybody because you need to find a song that's
Yeah.
gonna start a trend, right?
Exactly. And like now that I've gained my platform, so I'm on 2.5 million now on TikTok, which is crazy because it literally like this time last year I had like 20,000 followers on Instagram.
Oh, wow.
And now I have nearly 600K like a year later. So it's just been like going crazy. And then with TikTok, yeah, I grew like 2 million in a year. So
Insane.
that
Crazy
was
journey.
Insane.
It was just like crazy. So I was just like, let's do this. Let's gain the platform. And now I'm releasing music soon. So I've got my next single coming out within the next 2 months.
Okay.
So we're gonna try and incorporate my boy problems with the song.
Yes.
And everyone wants to know what kind of happened with my ex, and that's kind of the messages in the song.
We'll be talking about your ex today. Don't worry, we won't be
I hope
missing
he
that.
doesn't listen to this.
I hope he will. So,
We'll share it everywhere.
So Chiara and I actually met in London for the first time.
did.
When was that? February?
In February, yeah.
And the fun fact is actually, so Chiara talked a lot about French boys, and I saw her account on my For You page, okay, so on my TikTok feed, and I saw that she was talking about the French accent and how sexy is the French accent, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna duet this video and kind of like answer her by, having a very thick French accent.
Yeah.
And I kept making those duets video that actually going so viral.
But like fuck is something. I feel like
Hello, my name is Alexandre, and this is my audition to get a girl who thinks that the French accent is really cute. When I went to London, I knew you were in London, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna send her a message, and let's make videos together. And then we clicked, and she's one of the most genuine influencers that I know, because you know how it is, people are all about
clout.
Exactly.
But that's the thing, like with my TikTok, because I do it all on my own. There's no need for me to social climb. There's no need for me to collaborate with other people. There's no need to be like, oh my God, this person has more followers than me, or this person has this, so I need to kind of like scrape off of their fame, because for me it was literally just my face in my room. That's what people wanted to see. No one really cares if I'm collaborating with another influencer. They just want to see me talking about my problems with guys. So there was never any need for me to social climb. There was never any need for me to kind of suck up to other people.
Okay.
I'm not here for that. I'm not even friends. Like my friendship group in London, like none of my friends have followers. None of my friends are in social media. None of my friends are in like the creative industry. I'm the only one. Like I'm the black sheep in my friendship group, which I love because like I know that everyone's friends with me because of me.
Yeah. I feel like there's been a global epiphany like online in social media where like we just want more genuine people, and I think like that's why you've been able to grow so much, because like you can feel the genuinity, you can feel that you're genuine.
She's true to herself. So obviously you're not here to like obviously collaborate with other people, but since you're
you can.
But since you're in LA, I'm sure you've met a lot of people, especially because you've been to Coachella. How was your experience to the #1 festival in the world, Coachella?
Honestly, I wasn't even supposed to go. I wasn't even gonna go. I just came to LA just for 2 weeks with my friend, and the opportunity came up through you to stay in this content house in like around Palm Springs. And at first I was really nervous because I was like, oh my God, I don't know anyone. Like this is my first time in LA. Like I'm really scared. Like what if everyone's really mean? Because obviously I've heard bad things about content houses, that people can be a bit like snaky and just not very nice. And I'm not that kind of person. So I came in there kind of a little bit like reserved. But everyone was so nice, like just so friendly.
Who'd you meet there? Because it sounds like you met a lot of good people.
Bryce from Too Hot to Handle.
Okay.
He was there. He was so funny. Like I was being woken up at 8 a.m. every freaking morning with him being like, guys, let's do shots. Like, come on, bro.
At 8 a.m.?
Like, let's do this. And I was literally like, Bryce, please shut up. Like I am trying to sleep here. Like we were going to sleep at 5 a.m. every night. I had like 3 hours sleep. I got a tooth gem. And like I woke up the next morning. I was like, oh my God, is this going to stay on my tooth for 6 months? I don't even know how long it's going to stay on.
I would never do this, so I can't even tell you.
Yeah.
Do you
It's
feel it?
great.
Yeah.
Do you feel it? It's like
it feels like a one brace on my tooth. It's kind of weird.
Okay, so you met Bryce from Too Hot to Handle.
Yeah.
Have you seen any celebrities at Coachella? Like just see them?
Yeah, I actually went to Kendall Jenner's after party on Friday, which was so random. I don't know how I got in there. And I had a conversation with Anitta.
Okay, Anitta.
In Portuguese. I was like, oi, tudo bem? Você tá tudo bem? And she was like, ai, linda. She was like, you're so pretty. And I was like, what's your name? She's like, Anita. What's yours? I was like, Chiara. Honestly, I was fangirling so much. I pretended I didn't know her, but oh my God.
You're living your dream right now. And you also met Marvin, another French guy from Too Hot to Handle.
I know. We did a little TikTok together, and all my comments were like, Chiara, please no, not another French guy. Red flag, red flag.
Please,
like,
another
run.
French guy.
Everyone was so mean to him in the comments, but he's such a nice guy. Like everyone's been so nice to me, so I've been really lucky. And then I managed to get on a private jet back to LA.
Okay.
So you said red flags about French boys. Why? Like what?
Red flags about French boys.
Is that like are these red flags what led you to talk about boys on your social media? Or?
I mean, I'd like to say my ex is kind of like my muse, but obviously I got to where I got to because of my work. But he was quite a big source of inspiration and content, and same with music, like Heartbreak and like Falling in Love. Like that was my first ever experience of love. So my ex was my first love.
Okay. And he was French.
And he is French.
He is.
He's
I keep
not
saying
dead.
was.
Right.
Can you describe the relationship with your French boyfriend and how different it is from eventually your previous one, or even the guys that you've been on date with?
So previously I was in a relationship with Italians.
Okay.
So also Latinos, like Latin guys. I'm not into English guys. Like I am English, but I'm just not into English guys.
Why?
Why not?
they're just so boring. I don't know. They don't have like this fire that I crave in a relationship. Like, I definitely feel like my soul is like definitely like European, like Latina. Like
we're very loving. I feel
yeah,
like.
and I'm very loving, and I'm very like touchy, like. You know, like physical touch is my love language. And I just feel like English people are a little bit more like distant and a bit more cold.
Yeah.
You're saying that French guys are very like love physical touch.
Yeah.
Okay. So
very touchy, very like, oh, ça va, mon amour,
they
tu vas bien.
give a lot of surnames. We
Yeah.
always say I love you. That's the thing.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah,
like French people would just say I love you like this. And we don't ask people out. I don't know if your boyfriend asked you out, but in our culture,
He didn't ask me to be his girlfriend. We just kind of happened to we just knew.
that's how we do. And
But I'm fine with that.
exactly, because it's a lot of like teenager being
Yeah,
like, oh, that's
it's
just
childish.
Do
It's
you want to
childish.
be my girlfriend?
No,
No,
it's
it
like
doesn't.
stuff you do when you're 15.
Exactly. It's more like, you like hanging out with one person and eventually sleeping with that person. So why would you go somewhere else?
Yeah.
But then, I mean, we'll talk about this. But first, what are the pros and cons?
Pros and cons of French guys. Obviously, pros are like they love with their whole heart. Like they're very intense. Like when they love hard. And I'm the same. Like when I love, I've never fallen in love before. And then I fell in love with him and it was like, oh my God, like it was just so romantic. Like we met in Paris, we were stargazing under the stars. Like it was just the most romantic, like most amazing experience of my whole life. Like it really was like my first like love, and it just like completely, I don't know with an experience with other French guys, but with him it was like so intense. And I'm sure because he was French, it's also very like, romantic and everything.
How about the cons?
They're not the most loyal of nationalities.
Okay.
That's a generality, but
I mean, there's a stereotype for a reason.
Yeah.
I think, and so that kind of happened. And
After how long did he cheat on you?
after like a year and a half, so it was like on and off, and then
how'd you know? Did he tell you, or did you figure it out?
So I never ever went through his phone in my whole life. But when someone's lying to your face and you still know that they're not telling you the truth, and they're like, I was like, oh, did you go and see another girl? And he was like, no, of course not. I was like, swear on your dad's life. And he was like, I swear on my dad's life. I still knew he was lying. Just feel it in your gut. When you know someone that well, you can just know
tell
instantly when they're lying. And he left his phone on the sofa, and I checked his WhatsApp, and it had like my sexy tourist as the like name. And they saw each other like whilst he was visiting me in London. And I was having like my heart never hurt that much in my life. Like literally felt like my heart shattered into a million pieces.
One of your actually most viral video on your account, and I saw that you pinned it on your account, is a video of you saying like, even though he cheated on me, I love him so much and I will always remember our moments.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah. I mean, like I've been, some people have been like, oh, why is she crying like on her TikTok? But I just wanted to be as vulnerable as possible, because I know that a lot of other girls and a lot of other people, even guys, like have gone through the same thing that I went through. And I just want them to know, like, you're not alone. Like heartbreak is shit. Like cheating is horrible. And like, one thing I have learned from the relationship is like, just, if you want to be in a relationship, stay loyal to them. If you don't want to be with them anymore, just break up with them. Like it's that simple.
It's hard for a lot of people. I went through the same thing, actually. My girlfriend cheated on me after like 7 months. And then like it was the same thing. Like I could just tell in her eyes that she was lying. And I figured it out. And I was like, wow. Like you don't even have the balls to like tell me like, hey, look, like I just saw someone else. There's another one on her TikTok that's like, when you asked, do you like her? And you say, yeah. And like, that's like, that was the same thing that exact thing happened. That's why it was so relatable. And it's like, wow, like I can feel that. Like that's.
Yeah, I was going through like a lot of pain, and I'm glad that I was able to harness my pain into something creative. Like same with my music, like just harnessing the heartbreak. And I actually like was in a studio session before I came out to LA with a producer, and it was literally like therapy, like going through and going back to those moments of like the pain and feeling it all again. It is part of the healing process. And I think a lot of people also nowadays, when they get their heart broken, they kind of like push it away. And they're like, okay, I'm not going to think about this. I'm just going to like move on to someone else. I'm going to like move on to another girl, get into a new relationship. But you're not dealing with the heartbreak. You're not dealing with it and you're not processing it, which means that it will actually get worse down the line and you might end up hurting the next person that you're with. So right now I've been on my own, like single, like I went to Coachella, like I was not interested in anyone, like I literally friend zoned everyone.
The biggest thing is focusing on yourself.
But for the first time in my life, like I'm not speaking to anyone, like I'm literally on my own.
Okay, and I love your perspective. I love what you're saying, and I think like a lot of people start to listen to you and do the exact same instead of like, you know, getting into all the toxic relationships, you know.
Yeah.
Focus on yourself before you have to love yourself before you love someone else.
My last question about your ex, and then I promise you won't talk about this because I know it's so painful.
It is painful.
I can tell. Do you know why he ended up cheating on you? Because a lot of people, you know, get to this point for a reason.
I think, well, basically, he was living in Canada and I was living in London. So it was a long distance relationship this whole time. We weren't even supposed to last a week in 2020. You know, it was just a holiday romance, but we were just so in love with each other. We just like kept it going. But yeah, so he was living in Canada studying and I was in London, and we just kind of decided like at the end of the day, one person's going to have to move for the other person. And it was him moving to London. And when he moved to London, I'm a full-time student as well at university. I was going to classes. I had my brand deals. I had my music going on. I had also like a social life too. And I think it was just like hard for him to fit in with that. And he was like looking for employment, but obviously because of Brexit, it's hard for, you know, French people to get any kind of employment unless they have some sort of visa, like a work visa, which is so hard to get. And it just kind of like, at the end of the day, I just felt like after the whole COVID like pandemic, I feel like we were on different like pages in our lives. And I had so much going on, and I think he had less going on, and he didn't really know anyone in London. I think he just took that brash move, but didn't actually think about like the consequences of what was gonna happen of him moving to London. Okay. So then I said, maybe it's better you go back to Paris for a bit and like spend time with your friends and figure your life out, because I can't look after you. I have to look after myself too. So he went back, and it was kind of rocky, and it was like we broke up, then we got back together, then we broke up, then we got back together. And then in December, he came to London, and then...
And he happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, well, Chiara, thanks for sharing. Thanks for being vulnerable.
But like we just focus on negative, but let's focus on positive a little bit, because there's always positives, right?
Let's talk about French boys in general.
Well, yeah, in general. Like,
yeah. I'm traumatized French guys now. Like,
Trying to stay objective.
every time you guys speak French, I'm like, oh la la.
So I want to know that, because I don't have that thick of an accent, but every time I take it and like I start speaking like this, and then exactly like all my friends are like, all my friends are like, oh my god, it's so hot, and I'm like, when I listen to myself, I'm like, okay, like, do you really think it's hot, and what do you think about it is hot?
The French accent, it's like, oh hello baby, how are you?
She's doing the French accent so well.
You want to go out tonight with me? Huh?
The with
me. You look so nice.
So beautiful.
So beautiful.
Oh my god.
Huh?
So here's a little personal...
And I'm just like, yeah.
Here's a little personal question. Does that turn you on?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's so funny.
Yeah. I still have PTSD from my ex, but it's still sexy.
Speaking about turning people on, there's a stereotype that French people, you know, make love and not fuck. Would you say that French guys are better in bed?
Yeah, I get, yeah. But also,
objectively speaking.
But I was in love with my ex. Like, we were in love with each other. So, like, obviously, when you're like, you know, having sex, I guess, you're in love. So it's
when
like
feelings
it's
are
totally
involved,
different.
it's a lot
Like I was, after I'd be like crying in his arms, like it's just so intense.
Everything is more intense, like emotionally speaking. I feel like Italians and Spanish, obviously these are generalities, but Italians and Spanish are like even more intense than we are. We are a little more tame, but like still a lot more intense than British.
Who, Americans?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never dated an American guy.
But since he was French, obviously when you're in bed, was he speaking French or English to you? Because that's very interesting to me.
Yeah.
Both.
both, and you were speaking 4 languages because she speaks 4. Just imagine.
Well, yeah.
You would speak 4 languages in band?
I mean, whatever was the mood.
Yeah. Sometimes she had Tuesday night sex was French, and then Wednesday night sex was Portuguese, and then eventually on the weekend
you had Italian earlier for dinner. Then might be
my goodness.
But that's the beautiful thing about languages.
I love languages.
It's so funny we can switch.
Oh yeah, and also what I love about languages is like you have a different personality in every language that you speak, and I feel like when you speak to someone from the country and you say, oh, I speak your language, like instantly you have a stronger connection with them because it's like, you took the time and the effort to learn my language. Like, I respect you for that.
And it sounds like you're fluent in all of them.
Yeah.
Which one did you learn in order? English first, obviously.
Yeah. Actually, I went to Italian nursery, so I learned Italian before I learned English. And then I lost Italian because I went to English school. And then Portuguese was my second. Then it was Spanish, then it was Italian, and then it was French.
Damn, French last.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, yeah, recent.
The better for the
last.
last.
I learned Italian from my previous ex, and then French.
What was the hardest of these languages to learn?
French.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Because the grammar is really difficult. It's like, I just feel like the way the sentence is constructed is in a different way.
Well, we talked about this actually in a previous episode. It's like French comes from the Roman languages and English comes from Germanic languages. So it's literally the opposite. So we took that example as like, if you say a red tie in French, you say a cravate rouge, which means tie red. So like everything is kind of like opposite. So you have to like teach your brain how to think the other way around.
Yeah, so it's like tu me manques is like you, me, miss.
Yeah. No, I know, and
instead of I miss you or me miss you. It's
I always
so
get
weird.
confused when I say that kind of stuff in English, and like I always confused.
Do you have any tips or any techniques that you've used? Because technically, you never lived in France. How did you do learning French being in England?
So I literally just like every time I was with my ex, I was like, please, can we do French lessons? I mean, I'm very proactive when I learn languages. Like I want to learn it, actively want to learn it. So I was like, we were doing lessons, like he was teaching me all the colors. He was teaching me all the days of the week, tomorrow, yesterday, like hier, demain.
Okay. So it's you're only practicing with your boyfriend?
I think the best way actually to like learn a language is to either date the person or live in the country.
Did you guys speak French or English together? Or is it a mix
we
of both?
spoke mostly English, but sometimes we would speak in French for like ages, for like even an hour. And he'd be like, fuck, your French has like gotten so good.
And I'm the worst because my girlfriend is also, from California, but she lives in London now, and I'm the worst teacher to her. I can't even teach her.
You can't say that, man.
Because, it's just because we spend so much time like doing other stuff.
Yeah, but I'm just like, let's try and speak for like 20 minutes. Even if I make mistakes, see, I'm like the kind of person like, some people get shy when they speak a language they're not familiar with. They're like, oh, but like, what if I get it wrong? I don't give a shit. Like,
it's all about confidence.
If I make a mistake, just correct me. Like, what's the big deal? There's no issue.
I fully agree with you. And the worst thing with me, and all my friends are telling me that, and they say like, the only thing I'm good at teaching is like teaching people how to pronounce like French brands. They're like, oh, you only like teach people how to pronounce French brands. Especially French cosmetic brands like Aven. You know Aven?
Yeah, I think they have like a spray, like a water spray or something.
They do have a water spray.
Yeah.
Aven is de la crème of French pharmacy. Okay?
Yeah, you guys love it.
And while each and every product is great, I have a particularly soft spot for the brand Thermal Spring Water Mist. Okay, we brought it with us today. And it's something that anyone can use. And it can serve many purposes in the context of skin, from refreshing to soothing redness. And we're going to have Chiara reading the back of the bottle in French to check her accent and her pronunciation, see if it's on point. Okay.
My pronunciation is actually really good, I must say so myself.
Yeah, it sounded
I thought
good.
you were going to spray it on my face. I was like putting my hair back, ready for like spraying this thing on my face.
All right, so Chiara, time to shine. All right, try to read the back of this bottle and we'll rate you out of 10.
Eau thermale Aven.
Okay.
Eau thermale apaisante, adoucissant.
Yeah, that's good.
Peu sensible.
Peu sensible, that's very good.
Hypoallergénique, non comédogène.
Okay, comédogène. Give you one more sentence.
Source reconnue de d'intérêt public en dermatologie.
I think I did a good job. Thank you.
Merci
Thank you for
beaucoup.
trying. And her accent is amazing.
Yeah, it's really good.
Merci.
It's really good.
Accent is very, very good. So I would give it a 9.9 out of 10. What would you give her?
Wow.
Yeah, probably. I'm I'm a tough grader. I'm probably gonna give you like 9.9, 9.2, 9.2.
9.9. I'm a
the same
tough grade. I'm gonna give you a 9.9.
No, the thing is like I don't think perfection exists.
Yeah, me neither.
So we can't give it 10. But since we're friends,
But
I'll
it was
give you
great.
10.
Ah, bah oui, merci. Hein?
Je t'en prie.
rounded
So
up.
we're talking a little more French here. So how about some French 101 time with Chiara?
Yes,
French
please. Let's speak some French.
Let's do it. French 101. So as I said earlier, Chiara is here today to teach you how to talk to your French boyfriend or girlfriend. So she's going to be teaching you a ton of different expressions and words that are
Oui.
obviously romantique.
Bien sûr.
D'accord. So we're going to start with the first one,
Okay.
Chiara. How would you say to your boyfriend or girlfriend, you are beautiful or you are handsome? Take your
T'es
time.
belle.
Okay. So
T'es beau.
Yes.
So t'es belle is for a girl. T'es beau is for a guy.
it's like, see, she's already acting like
she
she
knows
knows what she's
everything.
talking
Hey.
about. No, tu es belle, but t'es belle and t'es beau.
She already, just a slang. There's like, if you want to go a step further, you say tu es magnifique,
T'es magnifique.
which is like, that's like kind of like,
It's a step.
Yeah.
It's a step further.
I never got that one from my ex. I just got t'es belle. And I was like, t'es moche.
T'es moche.
someone
T'es
told you
grave
that?
moche.
Oh my god.
And you just, the swear words as well?
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
We'll get to the words afterwards. But no, I'm so happy you're here. You're
How'd you
literally-
say I miss you?
Tu
You
me
already-
manques, bébé.
Tu me manques, baby. She wants to add the babe. But
Yeah, I love it.
But before we get to the actual I miss you, you want to kind of take your partner on a date or to
Yeah.
the restaurant. How would you say, let's go to the restaurant?
Je vais aller au restaurant. Je sais
Yeah.
pas.
Je veux aller au restaurant. Okay, yeah.
No, I go to restaurant. It's not like,
It's
shall
more,
we go?
Yeah, it's more like I
Si
want to
tu
go to
veux.
the restaurant.
It's like she takes him there. It's like, I just go.
Yeah. So I would say if you want to, ask your partner to go to the restaurant, you should say on va au resto.
Ah, on
Question
va au
mark?
resto.
Exactly. It's very very like informal because we're using the
Oui.
third person singular.
On va au resto.
Now let's say the date goes well, and
Yeah.
you kind of want some action and you want him or her to
Kiss
kiss
her.
you.
Okay.
How would you say kiss me? You got it.
Un bisou.
Okay, so bisou, or it's even better if you say embrasse-moi.
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 You can feel the
Yeah,
sexual
it's like,
tension
kiss
by
me, yeah.
saying embrasse-moi.
Or you could be like, j'ai envie de toi.
Oh,
Oh.
she skipped the next
Yeah,
part
she
and she was
skipped a
like,
step.
She was like, let's get into bed now.
Yeah,
It's time for some actions. So yeah, j'ai envie de toi. It's kind
It's
of
like,
like
I want you.
I want you. You say
Right
the
now.
person you're horny. It's time to it's time to make it happen. Now let's say that you kiss him or her, you said that you wanted them, but now eventually you fall in love. A lot of people, after having sex the first time, they bam, fall in love.
Yeah.
How would you say I love you in French?
Je t'aime.
Oh,
Oh, so cute.
See, look
I
at
thought
her.
that's such
She
a
said it in
cute
such a
word.
genuine way.
Yeah.
Je t'aime.
And then when you're actually really in love with that person, you're like, you're the love of my life.
Ooh. La fille de ma vie.
Okay, so
That's
here,
one way to say it.
like la fille de ma vie is more saying like the girl of my life. It's good, but it's even better if you say tu es l'amour de ma vie.
L'amour de ma vie.
So the love
Yeah,
of
I've
my
heard
life.
of that. Yeah.
Okay.
So they all work. They all mean the
C'est
same
l'amour
thing.
de ma vie.
And eventually, when you're at some point where you want to settle, you obviously get married. And how would you say, would you marry me?
Oh my, I never had that one. Yeah, I haven't had that one
Which
yet.
might not be a bad thing at 23.
Yeah, at 23, I'm going to wait a few years for that.
So you say, veux-tu m'épouser? Which means, would you want to marry me?
Veux-tu m'épouser?
So it's like veux-tu, would you, and then m'épouser
Veux-tu m'épouser?
is marry me. Okay.
Wow.
All right. I think we're good for that, all these expressions
Yeah.
and word. The only thing I wanted to teach you before we're done with the French 101 part is how do you actually call your partner depending on the stages, okay? How do you say my boyfriend or my girlfriend?
Mon petit ami.
Okay, mon petit ami.
Mon petit ami. Mon copain.
Mon copain ou ma copine?
Ma copine. Yeah.
And it's funny because mon petit copain, I mean my boyfriend, but it means my little man.
Yeah.
My little friend. So your little friend in French is your boyfriend. And the same for girlfriend. Your little girlfriend is your girlfriend. So it's a little weird.
I feel like we don't, you can replace the petit sometimes. Like you don't always have to say, you can say mon petit copain ou mon copain.
Yeah, I used to say mon petit copain just because it's
I always say
it's cute.
Mon petit ami.
Mon
Yeah.
petit ami. Yeah. Now, how about, you guys are engaged. How do you say my fiancé? Very close to the French.
Mon fiancé.
Yes, mon fiancé. Okay,
Mon
so
fiancé.
She knows all the stages.
yeah, mon is the my at the masculine, and ma is the my at the feminine. So you just say mon fiancé with the e and an accent at the end. And if it's a girl, you'd say ma fiancé with an e with an accent plus another e to mark the feminine. Now, you guys are already married, past
Yeah.
marriage. How would you say my spouse?
Ma meuf.
So
Yes,
it was
it's
a
one
good
of
try, but ma meuf is actually more a slang way to say my girlfriend. It's like the very same way.
Oh, c'est ma meuf. It's the slang. So we have the verlan in French,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is like the verlan is putting words like exchanging syllables.
Backwards.
And so meuf is 2 syllables. It's femme, but like you take the femme and you put it in front. So
Yeah,
meuf.
because I've heard him say like ma meuf.
Yeah, my meuf. I would never say my meuf.
Oh, I say
Why?
that all the time.
It's a little too informal, and I'm trying to stay
It
romantic.
depends. It depends who you talk to.
Yeah.
When he was talking to like his friends
Yeah,
Oh,
from Paris,
exactly.
he'd be like, ma meuf. Like,
Oh, yeah, no, okay. You know what? I don't blame him for that. That's usually what we
trying
do.
to be cool.
Anywho, so...
No, but when you're actually married, your wife is your époux or your épouse.
Épouse, oh, like a spouse.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, épouse, yeah.
So
okay.
in masculine, mon époux and mon épouse at the feminine. The last word is, a funny one because we've been talking about it. If your if your husband or your wife is cheating on you, we have a name
Oh,
for that. And the word is maîtresse.
maîtresse.
Maîtresse, like mistress in
Ah.
English. And a fun fact is that the word maîtresse in French also means teacher. So technically, if your wife is,
A teacher.
is a teacher
Or a maîtresse.
or a mistress, it's going to be the same word.
Okay.
Okay. So as a husband, if you cheat on your wife, you're going to see your mistress,
Yeah.
your maîtresse. That also means teacher. So you're going to see your teacher, technically.
Ah, vas-y.
You know how French can be very tricky?
It is. No, it's not that bad. Maîtresse.
Well, you just have to think about the context because otherwise it's a little.
It stays the
He had a
language.
maîtresse.
It's like je vais voir ma maîtresse. Je vais voir ma maîtresse. Like, are you
I
going to see
will-
your teacher
if
or are you
I-
going to see someone else? Like,
If I ever find my future husband with a maîtresse, I will literally chop his head off.
Well,
Like he is never gonna be able to be with another woman ever again.
let's stay positive and let's close on a good note. And saying
Yeah,
that
but I'm sure
the-
he'd be loyal.
I have been personally, and I just think at a certain age you have to look at yourself in the mirror and being able to, when you love someone, dedicate yourself and being honest with your person. Because then, if I think that everything you do to people will happen to you at some point,
treat others like you want to
Absolutely.
be treated.
Exact. Karma is
I-
a real thing.
I truly believe in karma, and that's why when I treat people, when you came to LA, I try to treat you the best way possible.
Thank you.
I think life is all about being genuine with people. So my last little game that I want to do with you is I want you to say 3 things: 2 truth, 1 lie.
Okay.
All right, Chiara, are you ready? 2 truth, 1 lie.
Okay. Now? Okay, right. So, number 1, I went to an after party with Vin Diesel. And he took me up to his room and told me about his wife and kids in his penthouse in London. Number 2, I actually did Miss England. I was a pageant girl and I won Miss London 2018. And the third one is I actually met Marine Le Pen on a conference
Marine Le Pen, yeah.
in Paris.
Okay.
And she was lovely.
Okay. So,
There's a lot of details in all of them. I'm
so
like,
first thing is,
I'm a great liar.
we don't really talk about politics on this podcast for multiple reasons. We respect each opinion, but personal one, I would hope it's not the third one. Okay. I'm sure she's a great lady, a great human. Not sure about that. Anyway, you were too sure about the second one. You literally gave us a date, but
Yeah,
she can trick us by saying 2018.
yeah.
I'm quite good at lying.
I feel like that's what it is because of she gave us so many details.
Yeah, and the
It's like reverse psychology in us. Like,
and the Vin Diesel can be true, but it's very too crazy to me. So what would you go for?
the lie.
Yeah.
It's a
I think
tough
the lie
one.
is Marine Le Pen for me.
I'd go for the second one for the. Yeah. Okay,
I go for
let's try-
Marine Le
let's
Pen
try.
is the lie.
Marine Le Pen is the lie.
Yes! Oh my
Actually,
God, I'm
yeah.
so happy about it. I was actually
Oh
sweating.
yeah, never
man.
met that woman in my life. No. I was just like, because I'm on a French podcast, maybe I can speak about something.
I'll keep my politics opinion.
Well, now I'm very curious about the Vin Diesel thing.
That was crazy. So I was on a set for Fast and Furious, just like working on a set as an extra. This was like 2 years ago. And he literally came up to me, asked for my number, and then invited me to his penthouse party. It was really sketchy.
Did you try to flirt with you?
He was honestly like, he was on something.
Something that we won't mention.
Yeah, lovely guy, but just like very weird atmosphere. And like he was inviting like girls up to his room, but then just telling them about his wife and kids.
Okay.
It was really random.
Interesting.
That's not something I would talk about if I meet someone for the first time.
Yeah.
Especially now if I'd take them to my room.
No, hell no. How about the second one? So you went to Miss
yeah,
Can you explain us that?
I did Miss England.
Congrats on that.
2018. So my mom signed me up. I didn't even want to do it because I was like, I'm not a pageant girl. Like, look at me. Do I look like I do pageants? No. And she was like, you need this because your self-esteem is so low. You need you need a confidence boost. So I literally did Miss London, didn't prepare anything, and I won it. I just won it, just like that. I did some charity work and I did like everything they needed to do, and I just won it.
I like your mom's vibe.
You know what I understood? I thought she said I went missing.
What?
I didn't understand she was Miss London. I thought she said like I missed London, like I went missing. Like she went somewhere.
No.
Well, I got that one.
That's how bad, like at the end of episodes, sometimes my brain is so tired of speaking English that I just, make up some random things in my head. But I'm glad. I'm sure that you deserve it.
Yeah, good thing that you didn't go missing.
No, yeah. I mean, I'm glad about that.
Thank you.
Thanks
so
for coming.
much.
It was
Thank
fun.
you guys.
You're
it's
literally
so much fun.
You're literally amazing. Just talking to you, it just feels like super, super chill. And
Yeah.
It's a good vibe.
I love the vibe. Chiara, can you share with the audience and also with us your social medias platforms so they can follow you as well?
Yeah, so it's Chiara King everywhere, but my name is spelled with a CH because it's Italian. On TikTok and Instagram, and also I'm on Spotify, Chiara King on Spotify. I'm releasing my next track in 2 months, so guys, go follow my Spotify as well, because that's going to be really cool.
All right, let's do it. Chiara, merci beaucoup.
Thank you.
Prends soin de toi. And,
Prends soin de toi.
à bientôt, OK?
À bientôt,
À bientôt,
merci.
merci.
All right, see you for our next episode
Allez,
of The
bisous.
Rendez-Vous. Ciao, ciao. Bye.
Bisous, bisous.